All right, folks. This week on Let's Talk Snowboarding, we got Caleb Guerber in the booth. And Caleb is a heavy hitter up here locally in North Idaho. He has a really cool family. I actually guide with Caleb's brother Sage on the rivers, fly fishing. And so it's been cool to meet him, his dad, his younger brother. Really just a all-around badass family. And Caleb is one of the stars of that family. He is a local legend. He's been around. He's worked at Capone's here in town in Coeur d'Alene. He rips snowboarding. He's been a part of the Ski Shack team for a long, long time. But he just hustles every single day of his life. He is heavily involved with Grand Teton Brewing, which is going to be super sick to talk to him about. And he just rips, man, as well as build some tasty berms for the Dougie Fresh Bank Slalom every single year. So we want to welcome Caleb to Let's Talk Snowboarding, and let's get into it, the Caleb Guerber episode. All right, folks, we're back with another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding, and to my right, we have the man, Brad Compton, co-hosting today. Brad, how's your day been so far?
It's been great. Good morning. Got everybody fed, got out the door, and
Got the kitties fed.
got the kitties fed. Man.
Yeah. The morning routine. I wanted to ask you, when do you usually waking up each morning? You a pretty early riser?
Pretty much with the light.
Yeah, nice.
I'm up with the light.
That's a good program.
So a little earlier in the summer than the winter, but
okay.
Unless I got something going, I'm up when it's light.
Nice. And in the booth today, we have the legend, Caleb Guerber, as our guest. Caleb, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And, we were deciding whether or not we were going to mention this, but we recorded with Caleb a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and like with Owen Hedgecock's episode, video files were corrupted, and we're back on a new program, so we're back, and we're going to do even better episode today, so we're stoked to have you, man.
Yeah, the anxiety or like the anticipation, I would say, this morning was a lot less up there. I think I just know kind of what to expect this go around, and I've had some time to think on some of the questions that you threw at me last time.
That's unfair.
I know. Yeah. I know. It's like kind of a leg up, I think, on some of the other guests. But yeah, man, love what you're doing here. So just want to make sure that we're giving the best product that we can to your followers out there.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure that your episode was dialed too, because you deserve that too, since you've been such a homie, to me, and supporting the podcast and everything that you've been doing and helping myself out and just helping the community out up here. So
thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Got to make sure it's good to go, dude. So, but something that we didn't get to talk about last time because it hadn't happened yet is you recently went on a little trip down to southern Idaho, Grand Targhee, Wyoming border. Little trip down to see the Grand Teton boys. How'd the trip go?
That was good, man. I love me some Idaho. That Wyoming, Idaho, where it all meets right there is a special place. They have a heck of a lot more snow than we do.
Yeah.
So that was awesome to see. The valley floor wasn't holding a whole lot, but once you hit that 8,000 feet elevation, it really piled up. Got a bluebird sunny day up at Targhee, which is a rarity. The snow was cooking.
Nice.
It was a day of a lot of Euro carving, stylish on the groomers, and just seeing how fast you could go. And it felt good. It felt good.
Nice. Yeah. And how many days were you down there for?
3 nights.
Okay.
And then took off on Sunday. We had our little late holiday bash with the company. Everybody else in town was there.
Nice.
All the kiddos were there. One of my good coworkers there had a baby about 3 months ago, actually 3 months exactly today, and I was able to meet baby Hannah,
Nice.
see everybody. You know, I've been going down there for 10 years, so it's kind of like a home away from home.
Yeah.
Going back down there, reconnecting with people that I'm talking with on the phone, video conferencing with every single day. So it's good to just look them in the eyes and kind of put some work aside and check in, you know, with how everybody's doing down there.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool family.
It is.
And the Grand Teton.
It is.
The Grand Teton family is pretty awesome.
Yeah, home away from home.
Yeah.
And there's this viewpoint when you roll into the valley there, and I always say it, like when I always pull out there, take a snapshot of what's going on in the valley. The Tetons are right there, but I always feel like you know, in the Wild West when they breach the ridge and they look down at El Paso and they pull out their 6-shooters and they start rolling into the town. That's how I feel every time. I'm like, yeah, I'm back. Let's go.
Oh man, that's cool, dude. I like that. Yeah, it's you know, I haven't really explored that area too much of you know, the Tetons. Haven't really been down to the Tetons much. I've been to Yellowstone and stuff, but haven't made it to that area. But that's like my wife and I's like top 5 trips that we want to make. We just want to get down to that southeast section of Idaho into Wyoming.
It's special, man. Like the winter time, like the mountain itself. You know, I've seen the Colorado Rockies. I've been through the Sierras, all through the Cascades. There's just something about that mountain formation that just sticks with you.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of burns into your mind, and it's a very young mountain range, you know, when it's compared to a lot of the mountain ranges throughout North America. It's steep. You know, I've been down there in middle of July, wake up and the Grand has snow on it. Like it's up there, and it's in just this like perfect pocket. It gets snow from the south, it gets snows from the west, from the north. Like things just go through there, and you know, this was actually probably one of the lowest amount of snow that I've seen down there this time of year, because it really does. Like as soon as September hits, as soon as the moisture comes through on normal years, it's snowing down there already.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. It's definitely a weird season this year. It seems like the entire western United States is we're just hurting really bad.
Yeah,
and I mean, you know, Canada has done a little bit better than us. Yeah. But it's still not anything to like get too stoked about up there. You know, I mean, Whistler I think has been doing pretty darn well, which is nice to see. And Revi has had some snow, but really the snow resides in Japan right now.
That in Russia, man.
Yeah. I saw a picture out of there this morning, dude. I was like, whoa.
Videos of people jumping off like 6-story buildings. Yeah. Man, those Russians, you know, drink some vodka, give some encouragement. They just send it, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Noah took off for Japan.
Did he?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah, he just left a couple days ago.
It's like I have there's a lot of friends right now, like Clint Tosland is going to be heading out there soon, that's been on the podcast. And then you just kind of see like all the pros are just like, okay,
here we go.
We're going to hang out in Japan because what else are we supposed to do? Yeah. I did see that like Alaska did get hammered. Alyeska got hammered a little bit over the past couple weeks, which was nice. Like 36-inch totals over like 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. Good. So yeah, they were hurting last winter for sure. So when you went down there, did you get to take the family with you?
No, solo trip.
Okay.
Yeah, wife held it down. Kids were still, you know, back into school and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, which it's good. It's a good little break for them, for me. Makes us all miss each other, and excited when Dad pops that door open and I'm back and whatnot. But yeah, I would definitely love to get them down there at one point.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a short drive, man. It's all of 8 hours from here, and that's by myself. You know, you throw 3 other bodies in the car, it turns into a 12-hour commute real fast between all the breaks and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a early morning to late night trip down there.
Yep.
I know how that goes, man.
Yep.
Every time we head back to our my wife's family over in the Portland area, Vancouver and stuff, it's always like it takes much longer. I used to be able to get to Mount Hood in like 4 or 5 hours when I was solo driving, but I was driving at like 1 in the morning to get there early AM to get to work and stuff back in the day. But man, driving with the kids and everything like that, like bathroom breaks, food breaks, like just everything. It's like a 10-hour drive now.
It's all of it, man. I bumped into Todd Jones when I was down there. I was out getting coffee, owner of TGR, and he comes just rolling in hot to the coffee shop. Looked like he had a rough night the night before, but super welcoming. Like, hey, what's up, man? I don't know if you remember me. I've met him a couple different times. Chatted his ear off. He was just nursing a bad injury he had out, I guess, recording because he hurt it on a sled. He had 9 stitches in his knee, and then started talking to him about his son Kai and then his niece and whatnot, and that whole family, what they have established down on the Tetons, with TGR, it really pushes the whole ecosystem down there.
Yeah.
And, like, the riders that are down there living every day, riding that since they were a kid. I've witnessed just a couple kiddos that work for us, or that their dad worked for us at the company. When I first started going down there were 4 or 5. Now these kids are shooting stuff 40, 50 feet drops and riding free ride tournaments left and right. And, you see that culture that's down there. And the mountain has a lot to do with it, but I think that TGR company down there too, man, really just pushes the envelope of just putting out top-notch stuff. And, it's a cool culture. When I first started going down there, I always knew about it, but then going down there and witnessing it, when you're driving over that pass late season and stuff like that, there's so many people riding the backcountry. It almost looks like it's a resort. There's so many tracks out there. You're like, what the heck, man? Like, there's 100 people that have ridden that face by now and stuff like that. So
good backcountry zones up there. That's for
legendary.
Sure. Well, that's why Travis Rice was there for so long. And Brian Iguchi's down there. And then I didn't know this, but I was listening to the most recent bomb hole with Yuki Kadono, and I guess that's like his main spot now. That's where he wants to be for backcountry and everything like that. That was sick to hear. So,
well, just what you can access right out of Targhee and Jackson. Like, if you know what you're doing out there, let alone all the ski trails, and then the way that the pass is set up, man. Like, every switchback, there's a turnout. Oh, we're losing your sign behind you here.
Uh-oh. Pause time. Oh, that's funny. I thought maybe that tape was a little weak that Josh gave me. I'm going to get it back up and going, though. I got my strong duct tape.
Brad, you've been down there before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went down there. The first time I was there was on a Ski Idaho trip.
Yeah, I know they always make it over to Targhee.
Yeah,
there.
and we got lucky. We had a lot of snow, fresh dump night before we got there, and so we scored.
Nice.
And it wasn't an epic snow season, but it was really fun going down through Victor and these little tiny hills that are scattered all over. Really, pretty fun.
Yeah.
That was the first time I rode a snow bike, bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
Down the mountain.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, sounds like a pretty awesome trip.
It is, man.
Yeah.
I'm never bummed having to go down to the Tetons. I might not always be looking forward to the 8-hour drive, but once I make it there, it's always a good collection of friends that have become family, and the world is your oyster, as they would say down there. Whether it's spring, summertime, winter, I'm always finding something cool to do down there.
Do you have a favorite like winter or summer trip? Because we've talked. Man. You're a big fly fisherman, so is it hard to pick, or is it just like the best of both worlds?
I like the winter time just because more people get involved with the winter ride. Everybody that lives down there for the most part has a season pass up to Targhee.
Okay.
We've done some Jackson Hole days where we have 8 to 10 of us out there ripping on the mountain and stuff like that. So it's definitely cool in aspect. We can just get the whole majority of the company involved on those ski days, where the fishing, forgetting about, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Which is still fun. We've done some massive floats down the South Fork of the Snake there that were just jaw dropping, man. Like the canyon section down there is so cool.
Nice. I need to get down there at some point for sure. All right, man. So let's get into it a little bit more. Where'd you grow up?
Born and raised here in the Panhandle. I was born at KMC, Big Blue here. Bounced around the downtown Coeur d'Alene area for a while, 2nd Street, Government Way, all those fun things. Moved out to good old Rathdrum, Idaho. Going into kindergarten, was lucky enough to go K through 12 in the Lakeland School District, and formed a lot of good friendships that I'm still carrying to this day out this direction. And you've had some of the Lakeland legends already on here. We had a huge snowboarding culture out there, and the Lydens, the owners of the ski shack, they all went to Lakeland out there and stuff like that. So it was kind of like a code word when you walk into the ski shack as a kid. You're like, oh yeah, I go to Lakeland. Yeah, it was like, all right, come on in here. So grew up out there, lived in Hauser Lake for a few years, spent a lot of time just absolutely terrorizing the Twin Lakes Village with a lot of my homies growing up. Coeur d'Alene is definitely home, but Twin Lakes I would consider like my home lake, just because we did so many activities out there. Friends with cabins. The lower Twin is so much fun, man. The cliff lines they have out there to jump off of. We had this legendary rope swing that was absolutely terrifying to climb out on. Mm-hmm. But then this thing would shoot you out, and you'd be 40 feet up in the air if you knew what you were doing. And,
Okay.
But yeah, K through 12 out there, and I loved it, man. At the time you were always looking to try to get out of the little town thing and stuff like that. But now as an adult, looking back on it, the time spent out there was special, man.
Yeah, Twin Lakes is fun, man. I remember when I drove truck for Builders First Source, we had some pretty gnarly deliveries.
Oh, yeah.
Out on, like, the southeast end of Lake Pend Oreille, like, Cedar Creek area, and all those cabins out there. But the craziest one was Aspen Homes was building, like, this lakeside, like, mountainside, cliffside, like, tiny cabin, like, resort village to where you could buy a lot and build a little small, like, 1, maybe 2-bedroom cabin out there.
Yeah.
Really primitive. But it was just on this rock face, and they just built like these switchback roads all the way down to the water, and then at the bottom, down by the water, was like the community center that they were building. So I've always wanted. It's like, and it was gated to get up there, and you had to drive up like logging roads to actually get back to that face and stuff.
Yeah.
And so now I always wonder. I haven't been out there in such a long time what it looks like now, because it was a really cool spot that they were building.
A lot of it hasn't changed, at least on like the far side of the lake. A lot of those are boat access only, or 4-wheeler through logging trails and stuff like that. And I remember one of our good friends bought one that was boat access only, and they did most of the remodeling through the winter because they could drive across the lake on their 4-wheelers and load up the the new tub and stuff like that, and zoom across that lake with it, back when it used to get real cold in winter.
Yeah. Right. I wanted to throw a few names your way of people I know who grew up out in Rathdrum too. Maybe some local legends out there.
Yeah.
Justin Zizzy.
I'm not familiar with that one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Pat Newton?
Pat Newton, he was a few years older, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I had a super tight knit group in my grade that we mostly rolled around with. Some that were, Luke Van Valen was that legend that, growing up as a kid, we were seeing him, broadcasting on X Games and stuff like that. Chad Warren was one that I rolled with his youngest brother, Scotty, and he was folk legend that we were, he was riding that ultimate wave. He was our Bodie, Zaffa, that we just wanted to march in the same beat and follow in his path. But yeah, unfortunately, I struck out on the two that you threw at me.
That's all right. That's all right. Those are the two that I know that are homies of mine through Mountain Vibes and stuff like that. That grew up and went to Rathdrum High School. And
that's
everything.
Surprising because it is such a tight knit group out there that I guess we just weren't on the same wavelength at the same time.
I mean, you can't know everybody.
Fair enough.
There's people I went to high school with, and I was at a much smaller school than you, growing up in Southwest Oregon, and I can't remember. I only had a handful of friends. I don't remember everybody that I went to school with. So, but yeah, dude. When was growing up in Rathdrum? When did you really? At what point did you start to dive in to snowboarding and kind of get out there as much as you could?
It was fourth grade.
Okay.
We had this like passport that we would get in fourth grade. I can't remember if we had to like read X amount of minutes or something like that, or if we just signed up. But in that passport in fourth grade, you got like 4 days to Lookout, 4 days to Silver, 4 days, all the surrounding 5 mountains, 4 days to Schweitzer and stuff like that. And it wasn't the cheapest hobby to get into, so it was a lot of hand-me-downs, borrowing this, borrowing that, see if you like it. But that year in fourth grade is where I was like, yo, we're using all 4 passes at every single spot. And it really took off from there. That's when I saved up and, for my birthday, wanted a new snowboard and started collecting all that gear. And I'd say, like, from fourth grade on, it was just kind of a constant progression of finding a way to get up to the mountain. But I would say that was definitely the pinpoint where it was like, I remember coming home from my first day of Lookout and just like chatting my mom and dad's year off for hours. Like, oh, we did this. There was this time we were cruising down the mountain and I hit this jump and totally wiped out, but I loved it. And they're just, neither of them were mountain folks. They're like, if you like going up there and freezing your ass off and riding down the mountain, good on you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember feeling that juice from, especially once you started linking turns, just being like, all right, this is how we're going to keep ourselves sane in the winter up here.
Once you get past that point of falling on your butt every single time and getting actually staying on your feet, it becomes like the most addicting thing out there.
Oh yeah, I remember going up to Schweitzer. It was the first time I ever rode, and the instructor being like, "Hey, dude, you can't just like stand up, point it, and go as fast as you can and just wipe out and almost take out 4 people on the mountain." Like, what do you mean? Like, that's what you do on the sledding hill. What's the difference?
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Do you remember? I know it's a long time ago, but do you remember who your instructor was?
I don't remember the instructor.
Okay.
I was always a very confident young individual, and I'm pretty sure I went down with like 1 or 2 times and was like, I got this.
Yeah.
I don't need this anymore.
The instructor's probably like, cool, lesson's over.
If I remember correctly, he had his hand full. There was probably like 6 or 8 of us in the group and stuff like that.
Nice.
It was a busy time, and I had another friend that was up there with me at the time, and he was cruising on his own already. He'd been up a few different times, and I just wanted to roll with him. Okay.
Yeah. And at that time when you were learning, was it musical chairs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They didn't have a carpet back then, did they?
No carpet, if I remember. Chair 6 was still Chair 6.
Yeah.
The old Snow Ghost up there and stuff like that. I don't think I ventured off the bunny hill at that time either.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And let's talk about, so Brad, you've been in Rathdrum for quite a few years, right? How many years you been out there?
I've been out there 6 years now.
Okay, 6 years now. Okay.
And I can't leave.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to, it's still such a
Right.
cool small community and stuff like that. When at what point did you, like, I know you've been affiliated with Ski Shack for a long time. We'll kind of talk about how Caleb got into it, but when was the first time that you actually met Caleb?
He was working at Capone's
Okay.
in Coeur d'Alene.
Nice.
That's when we met officially. But I knew him through baseball. He played high school baseball.
Okay.
And I umpired, so I knew who he was, recognized him.
Nice.
And, Caleb was a good, fiery, young bloke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember Brad umpiring games from day one. That's for sure. And I played catcher a lot growing up too. So like behind the plate, always interacting with him and stuff like that. And Brad's just kind of always been in the scene one way or another.
We have a shuttle driver at Castaway up on the river. It's not Jerry. He's an older guy, but he still umps to this day. He umps like youth league baseball around the area and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so baseball, was that kind of like your go-to sport during high school?
Yeah, I mean, I loved baseball. I played a host of sports growing up, though, man, and was very heavily involved in basketball.
Okay.
Growing up, so that kind of hindered how much I wanted to get to the mountain.
Yeah.
I took I took sports very seriously, all the athletics and stuff like that. When it came to basketball season, we were busy traveling for tournaments and games in high school and stuff like that. I felt like it was just important to keep myself healthy and, available for my coach, my teammates, and stuff like that. So I definitely did not get those 40-plus days in the winter through high school and stuff like that, let alone what I was able to start doing out of high school. But it definitely, I always felt this tug in the wintertime, like, we got practice on Saturday.
Yeah.
But we're going Sunday.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I was like, basketball was definitely my sport, but I love snowboarding so much that my mom always kind of made it a point to be like, okay, like if we have a day on the weekend, we're gonna go, and that did not make my coach too happy. He's like, you're gonna go like break your shoulder or
definitely
and
snap your collarbone.
And he tried to like implement like this rule that like nobody could do like winter sports like skiing or snowboarding.
Yep.
During high school, and my mom and I were basically like, yeah, fuck that, dude.
No, and that's our coach definitely kind of put that fear in us as well, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You know, I think it was like that 08, 09 winter when it was just nuking. And it's like, dude, school hasn't been in session for a week, man. Like, we're going, and we're going to shred hard this winter. Like, what else is there to do? We've been watching snowfall for a week straight, dude, just teasing us. Like, we're going snowboarding. But yeah, I played tons of baseball. Right around like my sophomore year, I started kind of getting hints and recruited and stuff like that by colleges. So definitely started focusing a lot more of my energy into baseball.
Gotcha.
I'd say from like my sophomore year on, man, between high school games and then into Legion and traveling and into the fall, man, I'd play like 90 plus games of baseball a season, crazy. Man. It was insane. It was kind of took over where I was focused on, and I saw the opportunity there and ran with it, and was lucky enough to play a year of college baseball before I hurt my shoulder down at Walla Walla. And once that injury happened, moved back home and was like, you know what? There's a lot of people chasing the same dream. I love it, but let's kind of hone back in, and that's when I was able to really take advantage of what the mountains around here provided.
Yeah.
It was multiple season passes at Lookout, Silver, and Schweitzer, and was just whoever got the biggest snow total that day was where I was waking up the next day and going.
Yeah. What were your so for basketball and baseball, what were the positions you rocked primarily?
Basketball is like point guard, shooting guard. I was always like, all right, rolling into each game was, hey, this guy averages 25. Caleb, you're guarding him all day.
Nice.
We'll try to get you a couple minutes of breather here and there, but you're going to be glued to his hip, and you're going to foul him 5 hard times, and you're going to be exhausted by the end of the game. That's your focus. I would say definitely a defensive specialist. In baseball, man, I bounced around like every year. Started as a catcher freshman year, sophomore year, played some catcher, played some center field. Junior year, played shortstop. Senior year, all over the place, just kind of was that utility guy.
Nice.
Did play center field in college baseball and stuff like that. I love just ranging the outfield and stuff like that and making those plays.
That's
and
awesome.
Kind of having everything in front of you. Playing catcher, I started playing catcher when I was like 3rd grade.
Okay.
And years of just banging behind the plate and compounding that with playing basketball. I was like going into my sophomore year, I'm like, yo, my knees are clicking already. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I love this position, but damn, I don't like double headers in the middle of summer when it's 95 degrees out, catching both games and just hurting at a young age.
Right.
So I really just tried to make that shift to get out from behind the plate because it was wearing on me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. When you hurt your shoulder, how did you, what was was it just like a wear and tear thing over time, or was there?
I had been dealing with some numbness and pain coming out of high school, and then we were actually practicing. It was right as the season was starting to kick off. There was a kind of like a low line drive to my right, dove, and like landed on my arm, and was like, oh man, that kind of hurt. What's going on? And then next play, there was a guy on second. Ball hit up the middle, and I'm going up, getting ready to throw the guy out at home, and all I remember is just that ball leaving my hand and me passing out because my arm dislocated. Oh. Labrum, rotator cuff, nothing. Just wake up to just everybody around me like, what happened? They're like, dude, and I look over, and already like my neck is like connected to my shoulder just because it's swollen up. They're like, yeah, it's done. Like,
oh man, dude,
it's out. Like, yeah, I can't move it, so that makes sense. And
yeah. So that was at what's the college down there in Walla Walla?
There's a bunch of colleges in Walla.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played at Walla Walla CC, but there's Whitman College down there. There's University of Walla Walla.
Wow.
It's a funky town, man.
It is.
It was cool, but the state pen's right there. Tri-Cities are right there. You're right.
Tri-Cities. Yeah.
There's some riffraff in that town that I don't think I was entirely aware of when I first headed down that direction, but still a beautiful town. I'd love to go back and see it as an adult and stuff like that. But the entire time I was down there, I was missing these mountains, missing the lakes, missing the family, and just kind of the core connections that I had growing up around here.
Yeah. You can only. Guys, Let's Talk Snowboarding is presented by Mountain Vibes, and Mountain Vibes was started in February 2016 by our CEO and founder, Justin Desmond. With the input of close friends, Mountain Vibes officially went live November 1st of 2017, and Justin runs it with the help of Mountain Vibes co-owner Emily Sorger and our core team. When Justin created Mountain Vibes, his objective was not only to create a snowboarding company, but also a family where passion and the love of snowboarding outweighed years of experience, and where judgment is not tolerated. We don't like the cool guys at Mountain Vibes. Everyone should be included in Mountain Vibes. Passion of snowboarding is what brings us all together and makes us a family. Along with creating a snowboarding family, Quality Snowboarding Apparel, we are a non-profit with an outreach program called Good Vibes and High Fives, where we take less fortunate kids out to snowboard. And I want you to check out our website, mountainvibes.com with a Z, and see what we're all about. We have everything from the charity to the apparel, and we're stoked that Mountain Vibes has presented Let's Talk Snowboarding over these last, 2 years. So thank you to Mountain Vibes. Did you hit up Bluewood much when you were down there?
One time, and I was like, what the hell is this, man? It was low tide in their defense, but it was, I always thought, man, Lookout's kind of short, not very steep, and then I rode Bluewood, and I was like, oh, this is a hill. This isn't a mountain. That's awesome, dude.
So what year was it when you kind of left Walla Walla and came back here?
It'd been like 2011, 2012
cool.
Is when I was, going back to NIC, got a night job at Capone's dishwashing for old $7.25 an hour.
Yep.
And kind of took pride in it because I didn't have to go to work till like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So if I was savvy enough and motivated, I could ride pretty much every single day, which I did. I think that winter I was like 80-plus days up at Schweitzer.
Nice.
Wasn't great for the academics, but I definitely took full advantage and really deep dove into finding my style of riding, what I was enjoying, riding with friends and homies every day. It was just kind of like this group message that we had, like, all right, whoever wants to go tomorrow, be at the shack at 6.
Yeah.
And we would all just wake up, meet at the shack. Do we need one car? Could we all fit in two? Do we need two? We tune up our stuff, hop in the car, and we got into this routine where we were always trying to catch first chair up the hill, and then first chair at Powderhound.
Nice. That's great.
Get up there and just shred as hard as we could for 2.5, 3 hours, grab some za, grab a beer, come back, head into work.
Yeah.
And it was, man, it was a special time. It's, especially looking back at it, reflecting on it. It Dude, it was simple. It was a simple time, you know.
Yeah.
Now I got kids and life and jobs, and like the thought of trying to ride 80 days in a season again, man. I don't know if my body can hold up to it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was some core memories and those friendships that I made along that way. We still hang out and ride and hey, you know, do festivities together on the constant, man. Like those core folks that I was riding with during that time, they're brothers at this point.
Yeah, and at NIC, did you finish up a degree?
Oh, got the AA in science, dog.
Nice.
And I haven't done it. I don't even know what I do with that anymore.
Yeah, I have a geology degree, so that's definitely not being used.
I'm still paying on it, but you know, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what my wife always is like. Man, if we just got some extra money and just pay off those student loans, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, or what? I don't know. Are they really gonna ever do anything about those student loans? I feel like that was because you said it. You were finishing. When did you finish like your AA? Was it like 2014, 15, something like that?
It was like 2013.
Okay.
When I finished that, I probably could have done it in 2 years, but had to redo some classes after.
Yeah. Well, I was. Yeah, I did that
After the winter?
After the winter time, you know, I should have just paused and just did summer school, to be honest, because, yeah, it was so much fun, dude. It was such a cool time to be up at the mountain and just fell in love and engulfed myself with the crew that was up there. And those were good winters when we were just getting nailed with snow.
Yeah.
And it was a reason. Like, oh, we got another 6. We should probably go again tomorrow. You know, it's dumping as we're pulling out of the parking lot. Tomorrow's going to be sick.
I love hearing your program because that's exactly what I do now. I get up early, I go hit it if it's good out, and then I hit Powder Hound as soon as they open and get the fresh, get a slice and a beer, and then I'm out. And I beat the traffic coming down the mountain, and I'm back in town at a reasonable hour. So,
Yep.
Yeah, especially now that Schweitzer's grown so much that you're just kind of like, I could stay here all day, but don't want to deal with it.
Well, in the parking situation, man, it just forces you to get up there super early.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unless you want to park at the roundabout and deal with the shuttle and this and that, like, I'd much rather be there early and get out early, you know, and ride at what's good. You know, don't get me wrong. There's days where I'll go back out, but
yeah,
there's a lot of times where, you know, if I loosen my boots and have a beer or two, I don't.
If it's a powder day and T-bar's open,
Yep.
That's one of those days that I'll go back out because of slack country stuff. You know, you can find the zones that no one's going to be going to. So
I mean, even still to this day, man, like, Schweitzer's grown tremendously, and like, don't get me wrong, it gets tracked out there. But if you know where to go, where to look, you can find it still at 2:30 in the evening up there, man. Like there's so much awesome.
You just need tree skills
And know where to navigate and where not to go to get stuck in some flats, getting out of there and stuff like that. And you know, me and my brothers, my friends that I ride with, we're always just kind of on the same page of just like, hey, man, this is the stuff we want to chase. This is the stuff we've been dreaming about since the day they closed last year. Let's get it. And, you know, there's a couple days last year where we rode all day. We did not stop just because it lined up. The powder days were kind of few and far between early season and stuff like that. And we'll still charge on it and regret it the next day because all of us are walking around limping just because we were riding deep powder all day.
Oh, yeah.
But,
launching cliffs and sending it.
You go down to Colorado and you see some of these videos and stuff like that where it's just you go up and the next time you hop on the lift, the whole mountain is etch-a-sketch. You're like, what just happened, dude? It's gone. It's all gone. In an hour and a half, it's all gone to where if you know where to look and where to go up at Schweitzer, you can find it even a day after a big storm, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then if it does snow at the other resorts too, you always have that option.
Silver's the same way, man. I've been up there 3 or 4 days after a big dump, and
there's
like,
still powder fields.
Does nobody ride trees around here?
Yeah,
what's going
probably
on,
not.
Man, these places are sick still.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy out there, dude. Brad, how many times have you been up this season? Is it just?
I think 4 times.
Okay.
4 or 5 times maybe.
Okay. And did you get the goods each time, or has it been?
No, not each time, but just like what you're saying, when you know where to go and what has been open, you know, what they've opened. So, I've had a blast. I've had a blast every day I've been on the snow, you know.
Yeah. Well, the day that I was supposed to meet up with you, that was kind of a crazy day because you said you hadn't ridden the shuttle in How many years?
Yeah.
20 years?
I parked down at the fall line, right? Clear back on the road.
Oh,
And I
wow.
wasn't that late. You know, I mean, I knew I wasn't early birding it, but yeah, I rode the shuttle up for the first time in 20 some odd years.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you find some good lines in on that day? Or
I did. Well, I found my kids, and
Nice.
so I rode with the kids and the grandkids, and it was great, you know.
That's awesome.
It was great. You know, Caleb was talking about finding all these stashes and whatnot, and all the years of us growing up there, when we venture out then to backcountry, and all the backcountry trips that we've taken, whether it's out of a cat or a helicopter, that was the best training we could have ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I strongly believe if you grow up riding Schweitzer, it makes you a stronger snowboarder. Just with the flat light, the freezing fog, you know, you just start to learn how to ride by feel, like know the changes of the snow. Like, you know, how many times you've been up at Schweitzer, like, yo, the top half is sick, but watch out for that bottom quarter because all of a sudden it just turns to concrete.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Like, it does, and I've noticed that just going down to Targhee and stuff like that, them complaining, the fog today. I'm like, this is home, buddy. Like, I feel good right now. Are you kidding me? Like, yes, I have a clear lens in my goggle bag right now because, it's just what you grow up doing, and I think it makes you just a more well-rounded snowboarder when you're dealing with those types of elements.
That is definitely the I could probably count on one hand in all the seasons I've been up here, which is I think 9 now, how many times I haven't had my clear lens pair, you know, just like, and it's always like on a spring day when I'm up there. So I have a handful of goggles, but really I could probably go down to 2, clear and sun.
Oh yeah, no, I had to put in my dark lenses when I was down at Targhee because it was
nice.
a Bluebird Sunday day. And I was like, man, I forgot how much I love these things.
Yeah, right.
I haven't worn these things in years.
Get a goggle tan while you're down there.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. Very, very cool. You know, getting into, so we were talking about you've kind of finished up your degree at NIC. You're working at Capone's. What was like when was the transition? Because you know you're local rep for Grand Teton Brewing. When did you start to make those connections and get into, you know, selling beer and stuff?
I moved out to the Post Falls location after working at the Coeur d'Alene one for years. I started dating my now wife there, and that's like a big no-no. They don't want couples working together.
Okay.
So got moved out that direction. There was some management changing going on out there, and I just kind of grabbed the bull by the horns like, hey, I want to start ordering the beer here. Like, I've seen a cool program being ran in Coeur d'Alene for years. Let me do this. So I was in charge of, you know, taking care of all the beer ordering out that direction, and then just started kind of slowly getting plugged into that network of reps and meeting tons of beer reps and asking them how they got into this game. And being the cocky young individual I was at the time, Watkins Distributing was always coming in, and I was like, trust me, man, you want me selling beer on your team. Like, and I knew a lot of the guys that were working at the company at that time, and just every time I saw the craft brand manager, Tyson Melhoff, who's a brother of mine, was just like, hey, man, like, you want me on your team. You want me on your team. And lucky enough, Grand Teton called up here, was like, hey, we're looking for North Idaho, Washington, Western Montana guy. Do you have anybody in mind? And they're like, we got your guy. This guy won't shut up about trying to break into the industry.
Nice.
Interviewed well, and you know, for me, like when I was looking into that industry, I'm like, dude, I just want to work for a company that takes me to just a cool area, you know, or a cool spot or a cool city. So when Grand Teton called, man, it checked all those boxes. Like, you telling me I got to cover Washington, North Idaho, and Western Montana originally? I was like, dude, that's my bread and butter. Yes, I know it all. I've been traveling through there my entire life. I'm familiar with all the cities that we're talking about that you need to sell with. And on top of it, I get to come down to the Tetons every like 3 or 4 months. Where's the contract? Let's do this.
That's awesome.
Ran with that, and as time's developed, now I'm their sales director, so I'm managing all 6 states that we're in. I'm doing like all our national chain accounts, so I'm kind of shifted from like I still call on accounts. Don't get me wrong, but now I'm kind of a whale hunter. Like I'm going and meeting with Costco's and the Albertsons and the Safeways, and you know, those are the hits that change businesses. You know, kegs are awesome. They're great. I love all those supports. I love on-premise accounts is what we call them. But when you set up something in a Walmart that's across your 6 states and they turn on 284 stores for you, that's what moves the needle at the end of the day.
Very nice.
So it's been kind of a shift of pounding the pavement, knocking on people's doors, peddling, the juice day to day to answering 50 to 100 emails a day.
Okay, gotcha, man. Well, that's very, very cool. I like hearing that. When I wanted to kind of talk to you about how you've been doing this for some time now. What effects did how the entire industry ran and just how businesses ran when COVID hit? Did that kind of change how you guys kind of do things? Are you a lot more work from home now?
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it changed drastically. Pre-COVID, dude, there was a new brewery open up every week.
Yeah.
More competition. Spokane probably had like 50 sales reps for every brewery that you could think of out there. The same went for Boise. And then COVID hit and a lot of the breweries started scaling back. Luckily, at that time, we had just made a shift, rebranded, went into cans, really focused on the chain game, and like grocery store sales went through the absolute roof.
Yeah.
And offset like everything that we were seeing at the bars when things were shut down in a lot of our major cities and stuff like that. And then, the days of flying to Boise and going into this meeting for, you'd walk into meetings with Costco and they'd be like, 15 minutes, go. And you're like, whoa, okay. To now, they're really cool with just, hey, let's jump on a Zoom call real fast. I want to just show you a presentation, what we got to offer you at this time.
Nice.
A lot more communication on it. So there were some awesome things that came from it. I went from driving 30,000 miles plus a year for work to, mostly just being able to do it from my computer.
Nice.
And that with itself has created a lot of freedom of, in the summertime of, hey, I'm just going to bring the computer home. Kiddos can play in the backyard in the sprinkler, and we can hang out, and I can still hammer through a lot of stuff and be very efficient on it and stuff. So there's plus and minuses that happen from it. But right now, craft has taken a massive hit overall, just as an industry. It kind of became this, especially the younger generation right now that's coming into age to drinking, they're not consuming craft beer, man. They're looking at it like, no, that's what Uncle Tom got fat on and caused, them to get a divorce and have this like weird jaded view towards craft where it's not this cool industry that it was like mid 2000s into the early 2010s and stuff like that. And it became very oversaturated too, man. There was a time there was a new brewery opening, like I forget what the stats were. It was like every week there was a new brewery popping up in Idaho in our region, and it just became this very, very saturated, muddled market. But I think things are starting to kind of correct themselves, where the people that are making consistent, good quality beer, keeping it in stock, are the ones that are weathering the storm right now. And we've been lucky enough, when a lot of these trends were going down, we were offsetting them and still showing growth, which created a lot of valuable aura around our brand and the footprint that we were selling.
Yeah.
Hey, I just heard this the other day, or read it, and just a question on you guys. Have you looked into building a beer like a tasty IPA with a 2 or 3.5% alcohol?
Yeah, like the low ABV, high crushable ones are definitely out there. Unfortunately, the NA world that's so popular, it's a very expensive process to do for a craft brewery our size. If we were going to do that, we'd have to outsource it, just because we're talking $500,000 just to like get the process to be able to strip alcohol out of beers and stuff like that. And we were chatting before. I think people see Grand Teton, we've been around for so long, but really there's only about 20 of us that work for the entire company.
Yeah.
So it's a small mom and pop family run operation, which is cool. You're not sales rep 125 for, the 5th largest brewery in the world. So it makes it to where we all sit around the table and we all kind of have our voices heard and can collaborate on, hey, that's a great idea, but these are the 3 things that these are the hoops we're going to have to jump to get to that process and the upgrades that we're going to have to make and stuff like that. So I think there's a pretty good understanding, top to bottom of where we're at as a company, what our focuses are, where we're pushing on it. And, I've had offers from other breweries to go work at larger establishments and stuff like that. But the loyalty and like the perks that I have working for Grand Teton, man, I really can't put a price on. Dude.
Yeah.
The family focus, the freedom of, hey, man, like I'll work this Saturday. I did X, Y, and Z. I'm going to take Monday off and go fishing. Cool. We won't bother you.
Nice.
That type of freedom. And when my kiddos right now are getting into sports and stuff like that, we need a coach. I'll be there. Hey, we got a field trip coming up next Tuesday. We need volunteers. I'll be there. I'll probably be the only dad there too.
Nice.
And that type of freedom with the age that both my boys are right now, man, like it's really, really even hard to like justify any type of salary when I have that type of freedom with this company and trust that they have in me. That, I always say with my coworkers and the people that I manage, I'm like, yo, man, as long as your homework's done and all the chores are good, take Friday off and go to that concert. You want to take that 3-day weekend with your girl and go to the hot springs? Hey, man, as long as all your bases are covered and I'm not getting hit up with it, we're good.
Nice.
So it's allowed me to do and manage that work-life balance. That it's awesome company to work for, man.
That is so funny you say that, because I kind of had the same thoughts, different business, but the exact same thing going, and it is hard to leave. I never did leave.
Yeah,
it's hard to leave.
Totally, man. Yeah,
I get it.
I kind of like that mystique where people are always like, what the hell does Caleb even really do? I do a lot, man, and I'm really efficient on what I'm doing, but I know how to make it balance itself out in the long run. There's the dog days of summer where it's like, damn, dude, I just worked like 4 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
And couldn't go fishing here, couldn't do that, but it balanced itself out on the back end a lot of the times. And, the owners are so hyper-focused on family. Family emergency happens, give them a call. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. Handle your business, man. Take care of it, and let me know how we can support you.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. And it was interesting to hear you say, like, the new generation isn't really drinking, which is so true. I hear it all the time. They're either just, like, into the healthy lifestyle or, they're on... I don't know. I feel like they're kind of like into like the vaping and all that kind of stuff, which is not. Oh yeah, dude.
As opposed to drinking a beer.
Yeah, they're a bunch of quitters, man.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they don't want to drink, but they will do the flavored vapes.
Oh my gosh.
The nicotine all day long, and
I had no idea.
And of course, weed. Like
the
new generation are a
this
bunch
past
of
year,
potheads.
Up to the millennial, Gen Z, all those backwards are like billion-dollar consumers of alcohol. And then this new generation drop off. It's like they barely are consuming over like it was like 20 million worth of alcohol, like nationwide, and it's like that huge of a fall off.
Whoa.
You're not getting replenished,
right?
Right. There's not this backfill of consumers that want to come in and like the past couple of years, like at Brewfest specifically, like I'm going to these Brewfests. I could probably count on one hand, like the people that are in that 21 to 25 range I'm like interacting with at these Brewfests, and it's like, whoa, man, like, it's good to see you again, Jim. I know I've seen you all 10 years up here at Silver Mountain Brewfest. Yep, we got 208 again for you, man. But there's not this like young, hungry consumer that is looking at craft and is stoked on wanting to come out and chat with it, and it's really changed like our perspective on just trying to like diversify what we're putting out there and stuff like that, and which is cool. It creates new challenges and stuff like that, but it definitely is throwing a wrinkle within in the craft consumer these days.
And it's kind of crazy for me. Like, I'm a millennial, so I wasn't growing up in Portland, but during my time, like right after college and stuff, I'm in Portland, right? And Portland is like Seattle and Portland were like the hubs of the microbrews. And the Brewfest was like one of the biggest events in the United States at Portland Brewfest every year. Mm-hmm. And it was just packed and everyone was having fun and like, doing their thing and stuff. And, we go to the Brewfest, my boys and I, and then, everyone goes to the strip club after that at night and stuff. and it's just funny because, I grew up in Southwest Oregon and my parents, like, we used to go every Friday night. We would go to this place called Wild River Pizza and Brewing, and they were like like one of the original microbrews, and this is when I'm like 6-7 years old that they opened up their location, and it's just, and now to see like Rogue has shut down, and like all these like awesome breweries that I always loved their beer so much, but now they're gone, man.
I think where a lot of people don't realize about like craft breweries, and especially the home base, man, that they're a meeting spot for the community if it's done right. Everybody's welcome at a brewery, man.
Yeah.
Every walk of life, and a lot of them are kid friendly. Like you come to our spot in the summer, man. There's horses tied up on the railing. There's dogs running around. The kids are playing. Grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, cousins. Everybody's welcome in an inclusive spot, and that's just a small sample size of us. Their breweries are, I think, very important to every local community in the aspect of it's about making beer and selling it and stuff like that, but it's also creating this meeting spot. This, hey, let's go grab a brew and just chat it over our day, recap on this, get done with your après and come down to the brewery and hang out and stuff like that. To where it goes for any community here, man. Like the breweries are this spot that I think that every walk of life, whether you're drinking or not, if you're offering good food, it's this focal point, just like the pubs and taverns were back in the day, of this spot where you can go, you're going to get some tasty food or some tasty beer and hang out and be able to have, just like I said, anybody's welcome, man. They're a cool spot that I think got oversaturated with so many decisions, but I think the ones that do it right will weather the storm and come out all right.
Yeah, it's so true, man, because, having kids now, my wife and I were always like, man, beer sounds nice right now. Okay, we're going to pick this one, Vantage Point. Mm-hmm. And we know why we go there, because they have a play area for kids and they have solid food. And we're like, okay, that's good. Or we go to Trailbreaker Cider in Liberty Lake because they have a big open space and they have like football, soccer balls, stuff for kids to do out there. And you see all the kids running around and the parents are just chilling, having, their cider or their beer or whatever it may be and just chill out for a little bit, meet up with friends that have kids too and stuff like that. So it's definitely a generational thing as far as like us, like we go, like the Zennials all the way through Gen Z and all that kind of stuff. So Gen X through Gen Z, the millennials, and we love our beers, man.
We do.
It's not good for the waistline, but
in moderation, man. I always do a cleanse, or I call it a cleanse in January. We only drink Pilsners, It's just keep it light and tight, reset the palate.
Get some kokanees or something.
Lagers, Pilsners, anything light like that. That's on the wheelhouse and stuff like that. And I do have to check myself, it's very easy to get stuck into those routines, especially when it's just readily available. And it doesn't matter if I'm walking into a counter around here at 9 a.m. They're like, you want a beer?
Yeah.
Yes, no, man. Like, I'm here to just chat with you.
I would love one, but no.
So that's something that I got to balance out tremendously with it, and I had to learn through my first couple years on the job of like, hey, man, you don't have to say yes to every offer.
Yeah.
You don't have to sample along the way and stuff like that.
Right.
And find that balance and stuff, but. The coolest thing on top of it all is just where Grand Teton has taken me over the years, man. It's taken me to mountains. It's given me relationships with all the local ski hills and stuff like that. Dougie Fresh for one. I do President's Day weekend up at Schweitzer where I'm up there 4 days straight hanging out on the hills and stuff like that.
Oh, that's coming up, dude.
I know. Stuff we get to do at Jackson Hole and in exchange for some day tickets and stuff like that. Targhee, Bridger, White, it's just taken me to so many cool spots and there for a while too on fishing side as well. There's some years that I'm carrying fishing licenses in Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you got to.
There's each one of those states is a lifetime fishery. You can fish every day and not touch every single river, creek, and lake that they have to offer out there. And very, very fortunate to where Grand Teton has taken me professionally, personally, their relationships. Every time somebody's traveling, where should I go eat in Seattle? Where should I eat in Whitefish?
Right.
I know those ins and out spots, and I love the PNW, man, for that, because it's just cool. It's diverse, and it also has taught me to be a chameleon. When I was selling beer in Bozeman, it was a different hat than what I was wearing in Seattle, downtown
Yeah.
on Cap
Oh,
Hill.
yeah.
How I had to interact with buyers and stuff like that. And, it's I take pride in just being able to kind of sit back, read somebody, read the room, and understand how I want to talk to this individual and make them feel, included. Like I don't know how I'm trying to explain it, but just how to not come off as a tacky salesperson, but come off as somebody that I see you, I hear you. Where can we align on making these things work together?
That's awesome, man. And I do love me some Grand Teton, man, especially guiding in the summer after a long day of guiding. You go back into the shop real quick and cast away on the river shop.
Oh, yeah.
You got every flavor. and Richard is super nice, and he does the good old guide 6-pack if you want it for super cheap. So I fill it up with Grand Teton and take them home with me for the evening.
Yeah, Castaway, they've always been the local shop for me, and my brothers, for obvious reason, man. They really put their arms around us and gave us a lot of cool opportunities, and what they do now, having that river shop up there is a super cool added feature for them as a retail shop up there.
Yeah, it was nice to see this season up there. By the end of the season, we were low on rods and everything, really.
Yep.
And leaders and tippet, and so I was like, good. I'm glad to see people coming up and supporting it. So it
Definitely.
was nice. Yeah. So yeah, let's kind of dive into a little bit, because you wear a lot of hats, you do a lot of stuff, Grand Teton, but you also are heavily involved with Dougie Fresh and Ski Shack. When was that first time you went into Ski Shack, and what is like that relationship been like for you? And did you ever work in there, or have you kind of always been like kind of behind the scenes and just like, hey, Caleb's helping us out, doing all these extra things that keep it ticking?
Man, the first time going in there, I can't pinpoint the exact one, but the legendary Labor Day sale.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it was like the first summer where baseball got over early. I was able to work a bunch through like end of July into August, had some money stashed away, and was able to like, hey, man, like I'm actually going to be able to go in there and buy a jacket, some new goggles, maybe some new bibs or some new pants and stuff like that. And I remember just sitting probably for like 45 minutes before they even opened the gates, just peeking around the corners, just because of the folklore of Ski Shack and, going back to growing up out and going to Lakeland. The Leiden family was out there, always hyping up the Ski Shack. So it was just something that was, kind of like your local skate shop, where it's just like, hey, man, like this is where the shredders go. This is where they pick up their gear, and this is why. And from day one, they were very inviting. Had friends that had been working there for a while. Got to know Evan and stuff like that. He had been a staple there. And then I remember just like, it was just some random house party. Matt Bowles and Mason Grove just showed up. And, got to know them. And they were so heavily involved with the Ski Shack, working there at a very young age. And I never worked there, but I always started just kind of sliding in the back door and getting the homie hookups, getting the homie tunes, getting to know when they were going to have their days off to go up there and ride with them. So that was kind of the segue in before I even kind of got in with the whole Grand Teton mix of things and stuff like that. So I've always been very proud to say, that's my home shop. They've always taken great care of me, my brothers, my entire family. Sage started working there for a while. So that even, who's my middle brother. So that just kind of even opened up the door a little bit more. And then once I started working with Grand Teton, marketing is something that was my main focus. And Dougie Fresh was 1 year in, year two was coming around, and Evan, who worked at the shack at that time, was now working for the distributorship that sold my beer up here.
Okay.
Approached him like, hey man, how do I get involved in this? What do I got to do? And that was kind of my first like introductory into the Ski Shack team, working through that realm. And then from there, it was just kind of grab the bull by the horns and just, how can I become more valuable? How can I keep growing this awesome event that is just so culture focused, with snowboarding being at the heart of it, with a good cause behind it, and slowly just kind of taking on more of a leadership role, being kind of that conduit between Silver Mountain and the Ski Shack team leading up there, just because I'm going up there, at least once a month through the winter months and constantly in contact with their F&B and their marketing team and stuff like that. And was lucky enough to be graciously welcomed into the Ski Shack team family, and man, it's been a wild ride ever since.
Yeah, it's a fun time, man.
It's been incredible for us.
Oh, yeah.
Once Caleb came on board, it changed. It changed everything, really. Silver Mountain had new management. He got on ground level with those guys.
Yeah.
And we had to work our tails off to prove to them what we were about. And Caleb was he was every part of that. The coolest thing about him is the true passion that he has. His love and his passion for not only what he's been talking about here, but moving forward and carrying on it's just been incredible. I couldn't imagine being where we are today as a team and as an event without him. He's just been incredible.
Yeah, it is for me, like getting to be involved over this, last year or so, and getting to know you guys more and doing everything, behind the scenes at Ski Shack and, helping out and being in those meetings and kind of learning as much as I can and doing what I love to do and like create content and get the word out as much as I can about everything that you guys do.
Yeah.
That's been super cool. And it's a small world because, work with the middle brother during the summers, hang out with Caleb in the winters and in the summers, and see Brad as much as I can. So it's always nice when you find like good friends, good homies that are always like, they actually answer your calls when you call them and stuff like that.
Right.
To where when I go up to Schweitzer sometimes and I try to hit up some of the boys and stuff, just crickets. So it's nice to have good boys to hang out with. So I appreciate you guys.
It helps me a lot, let me tell you.
Yeah,
For sure, man.
yeah, for sure, dude.
It's a good community to be a part of.
It is. Love the Ski Shack and love everything at Dougie Fresh, and we're gonna be back at it here very soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we're on it right now. We're going
get more
right now.
snow. So
That's the only problem we're facing.
Well,
we faced it before. Caleb and I have been there before.
Yeah.
Weather
could always
models.
farm.
Weather models are starting to look more promising. So
I just stopped looking at it.
I know it just keeps like
it is.
it'll be like, oh, it's gonna snow, and then all of a sudden that's gone, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, when is it gonna snow? So yeah, it's been a tough year for that, but yeah. Other than that, dude, you got a couple boys. How old are they right now?
10 and 6 right now.
Very cool. Cool age. Are they? Do they get itch to go up to the mountain as much, or are they into other stuff?
Yeah, no, both of them love the mountain. It's been a shift for me over the last few years of selfishly searching those powder days to being cool, stuck on the bunny hill and groomers, and getting them just falling in love with the ski culture, that lifestyle up there. And I know my biggest point was just to not force it early on, just making sure that they wanted to go, they knew what they're getting themselves into, and not, if they want to be done after 2 runs, cool, man, let's go grab some food and chill out for a little bit. And if you want to come back out here to where this last year, especially with my oldest, the summer leading up to last winter, he was skateboarding a bunch, standing sideways on a board and figuring out, what that center is, where you need to be on riding sideways and whatnot. And this last winter it really clicked. And it's not just me taking him up there. My mom's been very active. My youngest brother Tristan's taken him up there a few different times, and he's all about it now. Right now he's just like, "Why aren't we going?" I'm like, "Because there's nothing to ride, homie. It's not because I don't want to take you, buddy. It's because there's a ribbon of death, and I don't think you're going to enjoy it a whole lot."
Yeah.
But especially towards the end of last winter, he'd be like, "Hey, Dad," I'm like, "We should skip school. You should skip work. We should go shred today." It's like, we should, dude. Heck yeah. Don't twist my arm on that. So, it's my powder buddies in development right now.
Nice.
And last year, my youngest got on a snowboard for the first time, and it was polar opposites. My oldest at the beginning, he'd fall and get all pissed off. I don't know. He's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
He likes to succeed at things. Where my youngest last year, we take him up, he'd take a spill, and he'd just be like, yeah, so sick.
That's awesome.
I'm like,
how old are they?
10 and 6.
10 and 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Fife will be 7 in May. They're good yin to the yang to one another. It reminds me of me and Sage. Like growing up, people are like, "You guys are brothers. You don't look anything alike." Then you hang out with us for 10 minutes, like, "Oh, you guys are fucking brothers." Yeah, you guys' mannerisms, all the things you guys are definitely brothers, and they're the same. Griffin is spitting image of me, dark hair, brown eyes. I swear, he tans like no other. Fife, blonde hair, blue eyes,
Not funny.
pasty skin. His freckles touch in the summer. He doesn't really tan up a whole lot. Just more freckles keep developing.
That's awesome.
But, both of them are definitely on the right path of being good snowboarders.
Nice.
They started much earlier than I did. They got a
Guys, I want to talk about a new sponsor for Let's Talk Snowboarding, which is the Ski Shack in Hayden, Idaho. Ski Shack is a local family-owned and operated ski and snowboard shop located in Hayden, Idaho. They specialize in sales, rental, and repair, and they opened in 1976. That's going on 50 years up here in North Idaho. They have been offering a skiing and snowboarding to North Idaho and beyond for that much time, which is crazy. One of the oldest ski shops in the entire state. We appreciate everyone at the ski shop for supporting Let's Talk Snowboarding. So go in there as soon as possible and get yourself dialed, whether it be getting a fresh tune-up for your board or skis or grabbing some new gear, because they got all the best in outerwear and also in boots and bindings, boards and skis. So head on over to Ski Shack, located at 9437 North Government Way in Hayden, Idaho, and have some fun picking out some cool stuff.
They got a host of people that want to take them up to the mountain that, I didn't have as a kid. I was mostly focused on, my mom was starting to get into it. My dad didn't have any interest in it, but it was a lot of just core friends. And, at that age too, back in the day, Lookout had their shuttle up there, man. The shuttle was key to us. All we needed was a ride to either the Cove Bowl to pick us up, R.I.P. Cove Bowl, or the Ski Shack, and we'd hop on this bus, and 9 times out of 10, the bus driver had no freaking clue where he was taking us. Like, I-90 to exit 0, man. Just keep it straight. Get us up there, and you're gonna sit in that lodge or in the parking lot for 8 hours and take us back home.
Very nice.
So yeah, there are leaps and bounds on just the access that they're getting already at this young age, and super excited to see and keep pursuing that movement with them, because it is, man. It's something like once you fall in love with the mountain, being up there, whether it's with your friends or with your family, man, it's something that it's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you got access to it and somebody's willing to take you up there, especially as a young kid and you're stoked on it, dude, man, there's nothing better than sharing that memory and seeing things and experiencing things with them through their lens again. When it takes you back and seeing them hit that box for the first time that you remember just wiping out on, and seeing them live it again. And, it's my new powder buddies in training are getting there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I had the fondest memories going with my mom up to Mount Ashland, and that was my home mountain growing up and stuff. And now it's cool to pass it on. And it's funny you said that they're always itching to go up there with you. That's how my daughter and my son are.
Good.
They're always just like, especially if I throw on a snowboard video part or something like that on YouTube.
Definitely.
And they're like, are we going to go today? Are we going? I'm like, we're not going to go this right now, because unless it's sunny, I'm not going to take you guys. But
my son got a new laptop for Christmas, and just last night he's like, hey Dad, I emailed you a new video part that I saw last night. Like, you emailed me it? And I'm like, yeah, check it. His email address is Jimmy Dean, which is our little dachshund, miniature dachshund that we have.
Nice.
It's Jimmy Dean, the crappin' dog at gmail.com. I'm like, that one's going to age great, buddy.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
dude.
your handle? All right, cool, buddy. We got you there.
Nice. That sounds fun, man. Very cool.
So, yeah, the stoke is definitely in the house. They're always down in the basement looking at the quiver that I got hanging up there. When'd you get that one? Why do you have so many snowboards? And they're intrigued by it.
They're like art pieces. You don't get rid of them.
No.
When you talk about your powder buddy, coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So funny, because Jerry was 9 or 10 when we started snowboarding together.
Yeah.
And we started that together. We skied, right? And he's going to be 37 this year, 37 years old this year. And yeah, we've been powder buddies for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one thing that you're coaching baseball, you're coaching football, basketball, wrestling, all these things that we do. But that's the one thing that never goes away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and them just being stoked on going to the hill is the biggest thing. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crappy out, but whatever. We'll go up there. We'll go have a slice of the Powder Hound.
Yep.
Maybe over to Poochie's, see what's going on over there. And they know all of those names. They correlate those memories with positive feelings, good memories, and it's something that you're investing in right now. You're sacrificing some of these days right now. Short term on the hill with them for the long term investment. Of these things. Hey man, this is something we're gonna do forever. The same goes for taking them fishing, taking them camping on those things, those types of memories, getting them stoked on it to where, towards the end of this year, my oldest found my old backpacking setup. He's like, whoa, what's this? I'm like, oh, this is so you can go do like overnighters, Alpine Lakes, hang out up there, hike in,
set up the
long
tent.
trails and stuff like that. I was like, oh, we should do that next summer. Like,
Go hunt for brookies.
He's like, can we fish along
Up
the way?
in
I'm
the
like,
lakes,
yeah, man. That's the only time I ever really harvest fish is if I'm on backpacking trips, buddy. We can do that.
Yep.
So it's
Little catch and cook program.
oh, how's the best?
Yeah, it's so much fun. yeah. I have friends that do that, and that's when they get a little bit older, like probably around the time that they get to your boy's age. My kids, they're 4 and 3 right now, but they love the drift boat, man.
Yeah,
that was one of the best things that I ever got, to take the family out into the drift boat and float the river and just take it easy, stop at a couple little holes, let them fish from the shore.
Yep.
Teach them how to cast, and they're into that too, man.
Definitely.
So,
yeah. Cell days up the North Fork is something I like to do through the summer with them.
Yeah.
Pack them along. Hey, we're going to go Pritchard Tavern up to Murray, see those folks, and we're going to fish our way back down. And it's a fun experience.
Yep.
And, again, middle of summer, when are we going back up to the river? Hey, let's go down to Tubbs this evening and go throw some line on the water. You're like, hell yeah, dude. Let's get the hell out of the house and do that. That sounds awesome. Thanks for the recommendation, buddy.
Yeah, we have a favorite campground. Well, one of our favorite campgrounds is that Lost Moose campground up Latour Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So whenever we go camping up there in the little travel trailer and stuff, the kids just have to go to the Hilltop Tavern. And that's my Silver Valley favorite spot to go.
Oh, Hilltop's great. Latour's great, man. That whole zone is super cool, and I don't think a lot of people realize that's the tallest mountain in Kootenai County right there. And up there is some sick terrain winter-wise, summertime. I won't tell you what you can find up there, but there's some cool stuff that you can find up there in the summertime that not a lot of people are venturing up there. It's a rough road. You'll see the side-by-sides up there and stuff like that.
It's like, that's what
cool
Lost
zone,
Moose is, right? Is a side-by-side, little hub. The people that go there every single weekend, they go to that campground, just bring their toys with them and stuff. So it's really cool. But one of the coolest things I got to experience was there was some camp hosts there from that had, I don't know why they came up here or how they heard about it, but they just packed up and they came from Florida, and they just took their travel trailer. They had three kids, 2 daughters and 1 son. The son's the youngest, right? And so he's a big fisherman, down Florida. He go throw his regular spinning setup out down the ponds and catch bass and all that kind of stuff. But then they we're going up to this area, and he's like, oh, well, I want to fly fish then. And so his dad was really, really cool too. His dad was actually Big Jim. He played lineman at the University of Florida for the Gators.
Oh, wow.
With Tebow.
Damn.
And has 2 he's the starting guard, and has 2 national championship rings. So meeting him, I was like, holy crap, what? You were part of those teams? And he's like, oh yeah, dude, and he told me all these crazy stories and shit about the teams. And but his son was so cool. His son would come out every night to the campfire, right? And he had a fly tying kit that he got from North 40, probably sold from your dad or something like that. Yeah. And he's just like, man, I'm tying these leeches right now, man. And he's like, he tied me a couple flies just hanging out by the campfire that night. He's like, these working right now.
Yeah.
And so
love that.
He had never been in a drift boat, but he the campground's right there on Latour Creek, and so he was showing me these pictures of like all these fish that he was catching. He was catching some nice fish.
There's some big fish up there.
Yeah, and but it was nice. Like a few weeks later, after we camped, I got a hold of his dad, and I was like, "Hey, you told me that his birthday's coming up, right?" He's like, "Yeah," and it worked out that I had the day off that day, so I took him and his dad out and drifted.
Cool.
And he caught the biggest cutthroat he's ever caught in his life.
Oh, it's hooked for life now.
Yeah. So
that's all it takes.
Yeah, and he's like, and Jim and I text now, and it's pretty fun. He's like, "Hey, he keeps hounding me. Are you gonna have time this summer when we come back out to take us out on the drift?" I'm like, "Oh, anytime, dude. I'll take anybody out."
Yeah.
I've told you that. I've told Brad that. Like, we gotta get fishing because I haven't fished with you guys yet. So
I know. I dropped the ball. I think we had 2 different days lined up where some work stuff popped up, unfortunately, and we'll make it happen in the coming year.
You gotta force Sage to take you and the boys out too.
Yeah, that's the real question right there, man. That dude's so focused when work time's on and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong,
It's his bread and butter.
He has taken all of us countless times out to some super fun zones, and that dude put so much time into scouting new areas.
Oh yeah.
That he is like the Swiss Army knife, man. Just like wherever we need to go, he's either gonna go with you and put you on it, or set you up in the right direction to put him in. And like he is the fishiest dude around, man.
I know.
Like the dude just thinks like it, knows the season, doesn't get caught up in like being the dude either. He's just like cool with kind of flying under the radar and know what he's talking about and being very, very humble about it. You know, you don't see him posting about it. You don't see him being braggadocious about it and throwing things in your face and stuff like that. You know, you can go, "Oh yeah, we caught 20 fish today." Like, that's cool. And you have to like probe, like, "How many did you guys catch?" He's like, 60. You're like, and you know he's not lying. You're like, "Damn, okay, good on you, buddy." Like, you know what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, when I first started working up at Castaway, I just gravitated towards him when I met him. I was like, this guy's cool, and he was just so nice. He was like, you know, how sometimes it can be tough to break in when you start guiding and stuff. You kind of get hazed a little bit, and they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to give you any intel, but Sage has always just been kind of like, didn't care, and always, he's just like, you know, we're hanging out by the flies or something, and he's like, I like this one today. So why don't you can try that out. Or I've actually had a couple trips last summer with him where he had a 2-boat trip, and he always would try to help me out too and be like, "Hey, Dylan would be a good one to be that second boat."
Cool.
So getting to guide with him and kind of watching him, and he always is like, he's like, "That spot right there, that spot is where they're at right now." And of course, like I'll pull in, put my client right there, boom, fish. So he's just like I don't even know. He's like a fly fishing Yoda out there.
He really is. You know, we were both very lucky and fortunate enough to have uncles or dad, tons of people surrounding us that was like into getting out there.
Yeah.
And you know, especially at that time, man, there's just nobody up there fly fishing. You know, and there's people out there, but not nearly as much traffic as there is today and stuff like that.
Sure.
And, you know, the river changes year to year. The fly patterns change year to year on what's working and stuff like that. And he's out there in it every single day. And, you know, you need a fishing report, he's going to give it to you frank and, you know, not fluff it up and try to sell you on it and stuff like that. And also give you your best opportunity to go maximize it, man. Because, he's outside probably 340 days a year, like between doing that all summer, spring, summer, fall, and then right into, you know, the backcountry guiding, the snowmobile guiding out in the winter and stuff like that at Schweitzer, man. Like the dude is just plugged in. I think, you know, he feels the seasons change. He can smell the scent in the air when something should be coming off, and he's just plugged into a lot of different tributaries and fishing zones, and ski zones and stuff like that, where he's cool with doing the recon for you, which is, it's good to have that.
It is.
Pack, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, him and Ed, man, up there on the summers. They're the ones that you want to get in good with. So
and not to mention, we are supposed to be talking about snowboarding on here. The dude shreds. He rips, man. And rips big lines. And he was definitely one that, like, as I was focusing on sports in high school, he was kind of like taking the back seat and being kind of that anti-culture skateboarder, snowboarder that was like, God damn it, Sage is going up today and I got a game in Lewiston. All right, good for you, buddy, good for you. And again, we both had a really cool upbringing with uncles that, my Uncle Nate especially was like really plugged in. He was hanging out with, Josh Smiths and fatties of the world that were, into the snowboarding scene and was kind of one of the biggest advocates of getting us into the snowboard. My first snowboard was a K2 gyrator directional with that. I got when I was 4, and it was way over my head, but I was like, oh, man, that's cool. I do want to start snowboarding,
Nice.
And both of us have been lucky to have family that grew up here, knew the area, and gave us all the tools to run with, these types of hobbies that we're still carrying to this day. And he's making a living off it, which is even that much cooler.
So cool, dude. And, when we recorded before, we did have guest questions from both of your brothers.
Yep.
Sage and Tristan.
Yep.
So what we'll do is right at this point, we're going to go straight to audio on that. And we'll make sure that those are in this episode right here.
Cool.
So that'll be cool, and we'll make sure those are included. So, but
cool.
Yeah, I like the authentic reaction you had back when we recorded before. So, yeah. So yeah.
Brother number.
Guys, I want to talk to you about a new sponsor that we have. So, big shout out to our friends at Fine Brewed Cafe in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Whether you're gearing up for a powder day or winding down after a long ride, Fine Brewed has you covered with craft coffee, legendary mimosas, and a killer vibe. They're all about fueling adventures, connecting the community, and keeping you caffeinated for whatever the mountain throws your way. So next time you're in town in Coeur d'Alene, stop by Fine Brewed on Sherman Avenue, grab a cup, and keep chasing that stoke.
It's about growing up in Rathdrum, but told you I had a surprise for you.
Yeah.
And it's none other than your brother, Sage, and he's got an awesome question for you here. Okay, hold on.
Big bro, it's middle bro.
Here, we'll go back.
Yo, what up, big bro? It's middle bro, Sage here. Yeah, so I wonder if you could give us some insight on what it was like to have Nate Dogg as our uncle showing us the way, a.k.a. Naughty Dog, a.k.a. Grandmaster 180. I feel like Uncle Nate was someone who always got us up on the mountain at a young age, made sure we got up for all the ski-free days, and just showed us how to have a good time on the mountain, just kind of paved the way for us. And I feel like he's someone that got us really stoked on snowboarding and just always showed us a killer time out there. He's always given us snowboards and skateboards and stuff, so I wonder if you have any good stories or insight on what it was like as Uncle Nate, as our uncle growing up. Love you, man. See you.
It's a lovely surprise, and I kind of already hit on it earlier. My first snowboard was from Uncle Nate Dogg. Love you, dude. And like Sage said, he was a huge advocate for taking advantage of the Toyota free ski days at all the local mountains. And we were lucky enough to crash with him at his pad, wake up. We were never there for first chair, but we always made it. And he knew the vibe. He was the one that was really encouraging us, like, yo, go check out BC. Like, Nelson, you got to go hang out in Nelson and ride that mountain up there. And he brings the party everywhere he goes. It's not just the ski hill, but he's the one that definitely was like, hey man, après, I know you can't drink, but you're gonna come hang out and watch me do it up there and hang out. And he's the ultimate flirt. He always found where the party was, where the ladies were at, and always was throwing the sickest 180s on the mountain all day.
Nice. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to have that encouragement with a lot of my uncles and aunts, whether it's music, fishing, snowboarding. Sage and I were lucky enough to have like this almost like 10-year gap where we were just the only nephews in the family.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted us to tag along on the backpacking trip or go to the blues festivals with my grandpa, ski hill with Uncle Nate, fly fishing with my Uncle Derek. You know, it really opened my eyes to just kind of what the backyard of North Idaho has to offer, and not just the back in North Idaho, but just the entire PNW. They knew it very well. They were well connected, and definitely would probably not have gotten into snowboarding as early as I did if it wasn't for Uncle Nate. So
Nice.
thanks for that question, Sage.
Yeah. Shout out to Sage, man.
Yeah. He rips, dude. He really does.
He really does, dude. It's been cool for me to, kind of learn from him, working with him in the summers and stuff, and then getting to see him at Schweitzer whenever there's time. But it was funny. I called him yesterday to get that question from him, and he was just like, "Hey, dude, I'm just sitting in the village trying to sell snowmobile tours. I got a minute." And it's just hilarious. He's always a fun time. We get to hang out with him. So shout to the bros, dude.
Yeah.
How much younger is Sage than you?
2.5 years.
Okay. So pretty close.
But man, we spent a lot of time butting heads.
Oh yeah. About your passion for snowboarding from none other than your baby bro, Tristan. Here we go.
The T-Rex.
Caleb, it's your little brother Tristan here, a.k.a. T-Rex.
Yeah.
Stoked to hear from you on the cast. I kind of have a two-part question for you. First one is, what were some of your first inspirations that got you into snowboarding? Second is, do you think we will see you on the podium for the Dougie Fresh race this year? Much love, brother.
Nice. The inspirations, for me, being outside, winter's tough in North Idaho. Like, seasonal depression's a real thing. And if you're not finding those outlets that are healthy, productive, getting that cold breeze in your face, like, that was definitely something that, like, was an outlet. Like, man, I was such a hyper kid. I needed outlets to, like, blow off some steam, not drive my mom and dad crazy. And then obviously just the core group of friends that, like, if we wanted to hang out, we're all going to the ski hill this weekend. And, once you find that flow state, that aha moment, that first deep powder turn, like I said at the beginning of the cast, is like, it's something that either clicks or it doesn't. And that's just something that I wanted to be a part of from the very beginning. It's something that I chased, and I love that constant progression that you feel season to season. You see something click, whether it's your style on the snowboard or what you're chasing out there. And then, watching ski videos growing up too, man. I remember, like, the first one that I got on DVD back in the day was It's Always Snowing Somewhere. It's an old Burton film.
Nice.
And I watched that thing until it wouldn't play anymore in the DVD. And just seeing that and just how it correlated with the culture, like, whether it's the clothes you wear, the music that you're listening to, like, as much as you were, like, seeing the snowboarding parts, you also wanted to hear, like, what these pros were listening to when they snowboarded. And that's what the mix that you were putting in on the ride up to the mountain that day. This song's from Turjay's part this year.
Yeah.
Hey, this song is iconic. Remember that one trick that he did to this track? We're going to bump it on the second switch back up. So in the parking lot, it's blasting when we get there.
Nice.
And getting ready in the lot, blasting Black Sabbath and just pissing everybody off, smoking a cigarette, we're punk rock, dude. This is sick. It was just fun to be a part of, man. And, like, it's something that you either fall in love with and want to be a part of every chance you get, or you just don't get it, man.
Yeah.
Like, it gets artsy up there,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the culture right there, man.
And
that's
then
why
to the
we do it.
second part, I will not be on the podium. I have not raced the last few years. The last time I raced, Sage and Tristan raced, and I beat both of them.
Okay.
So you don't want to
top.
jeopardize
I don't
that.
want to jeopardize. Hey, you'll never be able to get me on that slope ever again.
Yeah.
And the day is just so crazy for me, beginning to end.
Yes.
The couple times that I did race towards as this event was starting to pop off, I'd get to the bottom and the PA would have snow all over it. What do you? It's electrical, man. You can't just have snow blowing in on this. Like, you guys have just been letting it sit here. Like, oh, we put that trash bag over the top of it. I'm like, it's windy though, man. Like, so it just became more of like a stressful, let me get through these runs as fast as I can and get back to work and make this event as big as possible, or as best as possible as we could. So I've taken a step back. I know Brad's the same way. I think Josh is kind of in that same realm with us too, where we raced, we did it, we had tons of fun competing in it.
Yeah.
But the event is bigger than ourselves now.
Yeah.
We're hosting, 150 riders plus everybody that's attending and watching and hanging out, to where we're always just trying to, at least I'm trying to focus on putting the best product out there for a larger cause, and a group setting that is culture driven, right? We keep hammering on the culture of the mountain, and that's just one that, like, I always want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward to make sure that we're invited back. Looking at avenues and ways to make it better the next year is the mind frame that I'm always going into the week of digging and then the day of for the event. I get through the end of that and it's like a massive come down. Like, it's as soon as I give away that last prize and we say we're out, I usually just walk outside for like 20 minutes and just, what the heck just happened? Oh, this party. I'm like, I'm dead, dude. Like, I am exhausted. I have been talking on the mic. I've been answering questions, moving this, making that flow there, making sure we're staying on the time since 8 a.m. this morning, man. I'm done. Like, just don't talk to me for the next day and a half, please.
Number one, this is brother number two.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, that'll be cool. But that'll be audio right there. But yeah, dude, I think it's time we get into some hot takes and some rapid fire.
Cool.
So we're gonna do that, and if
Crack
you're up
it.
for it, we'll crack them.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Hopefully this, I've been fighting a little bit of something the last handful of days.
Was anybody throwing this in like a dip yet?
What's that?
They look like a Zim, bro.
I
Come
know,
on now,
right?
the fatty chaw.
Dude, we recorded with you guys familiar with the name Dash Camp?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Dash Camp, he came in, and that was that'd be an episode that probably will have already dropped by the time when we get this one out. But he was so funny. He's with him, like he does them quite often, and he was just funny. We cracked a couple, and he went hard on him, and he was totally fine. And then every time I'd be asking him another question or something, he'd just pick it up and he'd just keep going like that. He's like, all right, dude.
Tolerance on it.
Yep. He loves them.
man.
So, all right, man. Here we go.
Cheers.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
So good.
You gotta get both nostrils, man.
Yep. Clear you right up. Kick you into gear.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Brain's firing now.
Awesome. Here we go. All right. Caleb Hot Takes. Hot Takes is presented by Ski Shack. Hopefully we get some more snow, but you always want to make sure you got the proper wax on your skis and snowboards and the right gear. So go into Ski Shack up in Hayden on Government Way and get yourself dialed out up there.
Celebrating 50 years up there, too.
That's right. Right here. 50-year sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Staple, man.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do some local hot takes, man.
Oh, boy.
Schweitzer's pretty much your go-to, right? That's the one that you like to go to the most to ride.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would say so.
I know we kind of touched on it, but favorite place to grab some food at Schweitzer?
Wow, Powder Hound all day, man.
Okay.
Poochie's is a close second. But
Would you go Powder Hound or Poochie's for a beer, though? Straight beer.
Straight beer, I'd probably have to lean towards Poochie's for the beer aspect. But, on the early days, balling on a budget.
Yeah.
Powderhound used to do $1 Olies.
I remember that.
$1 Olies, man, and we would clean them out.
Yeah.
We would clean them out.
And they still have Pabst on tap up there.
They do.
Which is a good program. And they do kill the keg at the end of the season, which is like you always want to hit that up if you're up there.
Yeah, I dream of that pizza though. I had to go up there last week on Tuesday for work and skip breakfast. I could have grabbed some food in town before heading up the mountain, but I held out. I'm like, nah, dude, I need some Powderhound sauce.
There is absolutely no pizza like it on Earth.
No.
There isn't.
I think it's the elevation, man.
I don't know. Yeah.
Something with the dough at that elevation.
Something that Ben and Jeannie have done to make it so good.
And I love Ben and Jeannie too, man. They're some real ones, dude.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was Thor's back in the day and stuff like that. And it was fun vibes then too, man. But Ben, Jeannie, both of them are super inviting, super loyal individuals. And that's just the type of scene that I kind of gravitate toward. Eric at Poochie's, super loyal too, man. It's just sometimes that Powderhound, quick in and out, is on a beer, and you're moving, especially when the hot cases are rocking and rolling. It's tough to beat, man.
Get the energy back up, get the carbs and the calories.
Yeah.
To get yourself home or get back out for a few more turns.
Well, it's just that meeting spot too, man, for the homies.
Oh,
you didn't know you were up on the hill. Oh shit, well, let's go out and take some runs after this, man. Yeah, you sit there long enough, you end up crossing paths with 10 to 15 people you know.
Oh yeah, I love going. That's why I kind of like going in there early, is because I like hanging out with the young homies too, and they know the program. They're there when it opens, get their food real quick, head back out. So it's always good to see all those homies in there, and they're always like, oh, what's up, Dylan? How's it going? And Isaac is a really good homie too, the stray dog up there, and he's always slinging the pizza behind the counter, and it's always nice to say what up to him.
Yeah,
so.
and Ben has expanded that business into something that's profitable for both him and Jeannie, and I love what they're doing there. It's a cool program, cool vibes. I've met a lot of awesome people just in passing in there that have become friends.
Yeah, and it's best pizza. If not in the area, probably some of the best I've had ever in my life. So it's so good.
Agreed.
Yeah. Favorite. Okay, so Coeur d'Alene though. Favorite food spot in Coeur d'Alene.
I probably turned the most receipts in from Syringa.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, man. I love the sushi. I just love the staff in there.
Okay.
The owners, Village Own Autumn, are some awesome local folks from the area. I'm going to do top three. I'd go Syringa, Moontime. Love that crew down there. There's some homies I've worked there from time to time. And then, Capone's Coeur d'Alene is always home base for me, man.
Nice.
I've been sitting on those bar stools since I can remember. That's where I fell in love with the game of baseball, sitting there midday with Tom and my grandpa Dino, just sitting there and just getting educated on the game.
Got it. Nice. What about your boys? Where's like their favorite? Where they're like, Dad, take us here for a bite to eat.
And they're bougie. They like Syringa too, man.
Okay.
That was a rabbit hole that I wasn't expecting them to all of a sudden start liking raw dead fish. That's expensive as hell. And then Capone's too, man. We're frequent flyers. Mama Bear works there, so going in there, being able to grab some some of their sliders or their cheese pizza and stuff like that. We like going in there and hanging out and pestering Mom to refill their Dr. Pepper like 52 times.
Yeah. I love the pepperoni pizza bread.
It's good.
Affordable.
Yeah. Balling on a budget, it works.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool, man. As far as breweries or places to grab, restaurants, we have like Capone's, you can get both, and everything like that. But like a brewery locally here in the Coeur d'Alene area, what's your favorite?
I really love the people at Outpost, the spot there right next to Syringa. I never get reservations when I'm going there. I always go and get on the list and go over to Outpost and crack a couple beers over there.
That's been
Danny
a cool place that's open.
Super cool people, dude. Like it's a fun community spot, that I wish for their sake they had a little bit more space, because it's such an inviting cool group of people that are hanging out, and they're plugged into the service industry super well. So yeah, shout out to those folks.
Very cool, very cool. A little bit of news. I don't know if you've heard or not, or if you've seen it, that Post Falls Brewing is in Coeur d'Alene now.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the cider, the CDA cider that had to shut down because of
What is it? 14th and Sherman.
Yeah,
Yep.
like right across from Moontime, right there.
They haven't even announced on social that they have opened it yet.
Cool.
But I passed by there the other night, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It was packed in there. It was crazy.
Good for them, man.
So yeah, good deal.
Yeah, I heard this a long time ago. It's community, not competition.
Yeah.
Within the restaurant and beer industry.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of that. If people are going in there and digging Post Falls Brewing craft beer, they're going to be more apt to next time they're at Super One to try out some new craft that they haven't before. So community over competition goes a long
right.
way.
Yeah,
especially in a town like this.
Yeah, especially when you find like those local spots, like you said, Outposts. I remember when they opened.
Yeah.
And my wife and I just were out on a walk, and we stumbled across and we're like, "Oh, this is a vibe in here."
Yeah.
Because it had changed since we moved here a few times, and it's nice to see that they've kind of gotten their legs under them and established a cool spot in that venue. So
well, it used to be Slate Creek back in the day. It's the same
I remember,
thing, man.
yeah.
It was a community hub there for a long time, and then kind of had some ebb and flow, some lulls. COVID happened, but what they're doing in there now is the vibe that I want to correlate myself with. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, the first year we lived up here was still Slate Creek, so that was like 9 years ago or so.
Yep.
And we've been into everything it's been, and now to see its Outpost, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, man. Underrated local rider that you think doesn't get enough shine up here?
Like new age or going back?
It could be either way, dude. Just somebody that you've seen that's like, oh man, they deserve to get a little bit more.
I think people don't realize the impact that Chad Warren had on the younger generation, at least the cats at Lakeland. I think, Ren's talked about like how much he's looked up to Chad and stuff like that. The dude had so much style, and it was like effortless.
Yeah.
And it was like even before like the steez and the style was such a huge focus point. I remember that dude just busting a method and being like, "Whoa, dude!
Yeah,
I want to do that."
Right.
Just his crazy tall curly hair that was just like always poking out underneath his beanie and stuff like that. Man,
Nice.
If I don't know if you can still find video parts of Chad back in the day, but like when you're sitting in Poochie's, sometimes they have like the big air show.
Yeah.
On. That was him doing those crazy tricks, 20, 30 years ago on the big air. That it was somebody that I always looked up to and has always been very, like it doesn't matter if it's been 2 weeks or 6 months since I've seen him. It's always, what's up, dude? What's new? How's life? And I think he's one of those, like, when you talk about culture of snowboarding, one of those like figures up in the Panhandle that a lot of people chased.
Yeah, those big jumps, was that kind of like when the Poor Boys productions came out this way? Remember those days?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely remember when the Poor Boys were shooting up there. I would say it was actually probably a little bit before the Poor Boys blew up, man. I can't remember how much older he was from us, but growing up as a kid, he was down in Tahoe, and he would come back with his crew from the Tahoe days and just try to keep up with them. And the stuff that they were just pulling, just little wind lips, doing crazy stuff, butters and things like that. It was like, oh, man, we need to step our game up, dude.
Yeah.
It's not just Park scene that he's tearing it up. It's wherever he's riding, he's making it stylish.
Nice.
And that's something that I definitely looked up to.
Very cool, man. All right. 3 favorite riders of all time, pros all the way down to Lokes.
Mikkel Bang has always been one of my favorite riders. Nicholas Mueller.
Nice.
That crazy kook.
The butter god.
The butter god. It's the third spot. I've always loved Kazu. Brandon Kokard is one of my favorite riders. I love watching, but I'd have to put Scotty Stevens in the 3 spot.
Nice.
I remember some of those first early parts when his part would come up, everybody would just be like puzzled at like, damn, he's bringing skateboarding tricks. He's like Rodney Mullen on a snowboard right now, dude. This is crazy. Like, he jumped on a skateboard, rode up the hill, back onto the ramp. Like, it was just some of the cool, most unique where you just paused. Everybody stopped talking and had to, like, try to process what you were watching when you saw Scotty Stevens come on.
Yeah, love Scotty Stevens, dude. And it's cool to see him living down in the hood area now, too. So
he's still just pumping content out, too, man.
That's what he loves.
I love following him on the social just because it's just funny, creative.
Trampoline skate deck.
It's like almost like he's like kind of like making fun of it sometimes, too. But it's just creative stuff that you got to stop and watch and process because it's not just, I love the big mountain riders, the powder riders, and stuff like that. And those video parts get me stoked. But like when I watch Scotty Stevens ride, it just puts a smile on my face. Like, dude, I'm never going to be able to do half the stuff that you're doing on this, but it's cool to watch.
Yeah, so cool, man. What does a perfect day of riding look like for you from morning till end?
We got the crew together. My brothers are meeting up there. I got Kaylin, Walt, and Hunter Jones using my free gas money to ride up there with me.
Nice.
It snowed. They were forecasting for like 4 inches. They got maybe 4, but it was windy as hell the night before up at Schweitzer. So it's not crazy packed up there. But you knew where the wind was blowing, and it's knee deep in that North Bowl. And you're riding the trees with the homies. We're probably riding around to like 12:30 if it's really good, maybe 1. We're grabbing some pizza. Hunter's ordering pitchers of beer, even though he's not the one, he's not driving, so he wants to have a second one. And then he's asking you to split the check with him at the end.
That's awesome, dude.
And it's the crew, and we're linked up, and we're ripping all over that mountain until our legs say no more.
Very cool, man. What's your board setup right now?
I've been rocking the Squash pretty heavily over the last 2 or 3 years. It is a full rocket ship. Like, this snowboard is so fast.
Nice.
So I've been rocking this for the last couple of years. Before that, man, I rode a Rossignol twin tip J-Dub. I don't know if you ever heard that board. Full camber, super aggressive. Changed the way that I snowboarded and the way how comfortable I felt on a snowboard. But I've been really liking the directional stuff when I'm riding by myself. Still rock the twins when I'm riding with the kids and stuff like that. And just say, hey, I'm riding switch all day today. Nice. Which is a good challenge for yourself to do and kind of keep those skills sharp. But this board is fun, man. Saves your legs. Little taper to it, big aggressive nose. It's a fun snowboard. Highly recommend it.
Very cool. Bindings?
These are the Stratas right now. I have kind of a hodgepodge of bindings that sit on the other boards. Road Now bindings when they first came out there for a while. Those were pretty cool, especially just like playing around with like the stiffness and kind of that rocker aspect that they were kind of trying to bring to the scene at that time. But the Union Stratas are probably the most comfortable bindings I've stepped into in a long time.
Nice. What's your angles looking like on there?
With it, when I'm riding my directional, it's usually 15 in the front, and I'll usually do 0 in the back.
Okay.
So it kind of feels like I'm skateboarding.
Very cool. I like it, man. What's your bucket list backcountry trip, and who are the 3 all-time conditions, and who are the 3 people that you would take with you?
Bald-Face is up there for sure.
Nice.
I would love the opportunity to go out there with my brothers. With 3 brothers in the backwoods. It's that dream that we always chase, and those memories that are lifetime lasting, and it's a fun competitive aspect when the 3 of us are riding together. There's some shit talk going on, but it's all in the most loving manner, and we're encouraging each other and get stoked for each other. And so I'd say Bald-Face or Kootenai Pass is always something that's super fun to go up and shred when you can break away and do that.
Well, the Bald-Face might happen for you at some time.
I'm fingers crossed, man.
It will.
Chad Riley, baby.
Yep.
So Chad Riley is I don't know if you guys have, a lot of people just don't know Chad all that well.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a you know, kind of behind the scenes, but you know, he was a photographer, not just in snowboarding or, you know, extreme sports or anything like that, but fashion and all this stuff. And he kind of went away for a while pursuing that, but now he's living back in town. Actually lives just right next, right across the street from, you know, the school that your boys go to.
Cool.
And so his kids go there too. So you might have run into him.
I bet we've crossed
point.
paths at pickup there for
But
sure.
he's got the link, man, because he's been going there for years, and he has the same date every single year with the same group
Cool.
of guys. But he always says that some guys, just things happen, and like from anywhere from 2 to 4 spots usually open up about a month before their trip. And so he's always looking for people to fill those spots.
All right,
So-
man. Well,
So
let me know what
hopefully
I can do. I do have his episode kind of queued up to listen to here in the future. I've been just slowly working through
That's great. I
some of your
appreciate
past
that, dude.
Yeah, man. You guys are putting out a cool product, and you've been bringing people on that I truly care about too simultaneously. So it's like
Nice.
I want to hear their perspective on these same questions that you're asking me here today.
I like it, dude. Heck yeah. What's currently the worst trend in snowboarding?
Man, the accessibility of it, man.
Okay.
The inflated lift ticket prices that we're seeing over the years, and I understand there's a lot to the operating cost to get a mountain going and stuff like that, man. But when you're talking about like a mortgage payment for a family of 4 to go up to the hill for the day, and that's not even staying on the hill. That's just getting the lift tickets and some rentals. It's tough to see how much that increase in price has happened really just like since COVID. Just like that, you know, they're constantly bragging about record attendance, record this, record weekends here, and we're seeing prices continue to climb, man. It's not inclusive, man. You're kind of making the crowd that can go up there and enjoy it on their regular smaller and smaller each year.
I feel like the bubble might be about to burst here at some point, but I've really enjoyed seeing the rise of like some of those like Midwest hills and stuff, and the fact that they're like really like focused on park and rope tow type stuff.
Totally, man.
So that those younger kids can like afford to like get out there and do it, and then it's worth it, right? 'Cause
Totally.
they can get the reps in and
Yep.
like really get their riding dialed and stuff. So that's
you don't
been cool
feel
to
the
see.
pressure on it, man.
Yeah.
When you're spending all this money, you're like, we got to get all these runs in. We got to make that's
Right.
$170 worth it today. And
Yeah.
I don't care that you're not having a good time. We're still going out. Like,
Yeah.
that type of pressure, man, it's
Not fun.
not conducive to the sport and the culture. You know, McCall down there has that free little
Yeah.
bunny hill for the kids to go in and shred on. Parents drop their kids off. It's right outside town. Like, it's I just don't like the way that it's so expensive as a sport just to get this gear alone
Yeah.
for your own. And now you times that through your kiddos and stuff like that. They're growing up and they're growing 3 or 4 inches every year and need a brand new setup. So like we're already investing a lot when it comes to just getting the gear to make it happen, let alone, man, another $500 to get me
Yeah.
and my 2 kids on the mountain today. All right, let's do it.
Tough, dude.
Yep.
Tough. I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fires before we close this thing out. Pants or bibs?
I like the bibs.
Nice.
Yep. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig the extra pockets.
Goggles or glasses?
Goggles all day. You can't ride glasses at Schweitzer.
Okay. Are you rocking a helmet?
Oh yeah, feel naked without it now.
Okay. Goggles over or under your helmet?
Typically over,
Okay.
just because I rode Smith forever, man. You try to put that back buckle
Yeah.
underneath the
I got
helmet,
you.
it's
Not gonna
it's
work.
not gonna work, man.
Not gonna work. Gloves or mittens?
I love my mittens, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, especially the cheap Hestras.
Yeah. Nice. Boa or laces?
I've been rocking BOA for a long time.
Okay.
The technology's come a long way, and especially K2's like heel cup that they put in there with that extra BOA on the side.
Nice.
That was a game changer in the BOA world.
Very cool. Pow or slush?
Pow, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
When you're solo riding, are you rocking any earbuds?
Nope. No
Okay.
earbuds. I can't ride with earbuds. I like to be able to hear the snow texture and what I'm riding on. Plus, you know, the hooligans coming up on the 6 that
Yeah.
I can't see. I like to be able to hear what's around me.
Gotcha. Okay. Favorite video part or favorite snowboard film?
I know it's cliche to say, but Nicholas Mueller's part in what's the big Red Bull production one? Art of Flight. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
that is like zen, effortless, just sick riding, beginning to end.
Nice, dude. All right, you want to throw any thank yous out? Shout anybody out?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ski Shack. We kind of tiptoed around it, but without those folks there, the long lineage of riders and friends that have worked there, none of this would be possible. I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you. Wouldn't have the connections that I do within the Ski Shack family and stuff like that. So massive shout out to those guys. I know you guys talk about them on this podcast, but you can really never fully encapsulate like what that shop has meant to skiers and snowboarders in this area, man. They've given us so many opportunities. Shout out to Grand Teton Brewing again. Simultaneously, I love where I work. Looks like we might be trying to become a sponsor of this podcast, which we'll work on behind the scenes and whatnot. And man, shout out to you, man. What you've been able to do with this podcast and kind of the light that you're bringing on to, the veteran riders of this area, and plus the up and coming, man. It takes a lot of energy to stay on top of everything that you do. Yeah. You're consuming a lot of content, and are plugged into the old riders, the new up and comers, man. And this podcast is cool, and I think it's heading in the right direction.
Appreciate it, man. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Brad.
You bet, man.
For sitting
Thank
in
you.
again, making the trip down.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Caleb, throw a bow on this thing, dude. Sign us off.
All right, guys, make sure you are following along on this guy's adventure with here. Let's Talk Snowboarding. Thank you guys for tuning in here today and listening to me chat and banter about myself. It's something that I'm not super familiar with, but I definitely know how to talk for hours. And we can probably do another hour of stories and whatnot. But
we'll come back for a group chat.
We'll come back for the group chat, all right? Cheers.
Appreciate it. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Hopefully the camera stayed on.
It's on. I've been looking at the screen.